On the 10th of June 2020, we received a sighting report from a woman called Linda. She sent it through to the Thylacine Awareness Group of Australia webpage. She said it was dark brownish animal, didn't make out any stripes. The sighting was up in the Adelaide Hills in South Australia. No secondary witness, night time. She's not sure but thought she might have heard a noise as it ran away. So it was autumn, and Linda says, I went out to pick up my son at 9:30 p.m. last night. As I approached the end of a crescent near a reserve, a creature ran slowly from a house on the left of the road. I knew instinctively it was not a dog and did not look like a fox. It had a very stiff, completely straight tail with an almost reptilian back end. It also galloped rather than a dog-like run. It appeared muscular and in good condition. It then galloped away, and I tried to take photos, but was too slow and shaky. So I talked to Linda and asked her about these photos. She wasn't going to share them with us because she thought they were so bad. In fact, she said, my photos are so bad and not worth sending to you. I asked her if she wanted to send the photo and I could see if I could adjust it, and that's what you're looking at now. She said, yes, my animal's definitely not too worried about being seen, and her husband and her are going to start hunting in the evenings and looking around for it. The animal turned into a road up that way and she lost sight of it. She says she had to pick up her son from a party and didn't want to be late, otherwise I would have followed it in the car. I'm so disappointed I didn't get a good photo as it was so close. I took two photos, one just a blurry mess and the other one you can barely make out a brown lump. Yes, it's an ambiguous photo. It was taken at night on a mobile phone, low light, animal reasonable distance away. So some people will find it hard to see any detail, but there is some detail. If we have a closer look, just play that. I mean, to me, you can see the rump of the animal, you can see the tail. Maybe that's the tail just kicking out, and possibly we can see some ears there at the top as well. So it doesn't look like a brushy tail, if that is indeed the tail. So this is very close to where we've had a lot of sightings, which I'll tell you about. One of them, you'll know quite well, the bin day video. Linda has seen the bin day video, and she says that her animal definitely looks a similar shape. It was such a bizarre experience, she goes on to say, and I'm 100% sure what I saw was not a fox or a dog. So we were really keen to check out the area where Linda saw this animal, look for prints, look for any other signs, start to try and work out where this animal might be denning, moving around. So we got out there straight away and started searching. Hi folks, I'm just out looking for our animal again. That's right where the animal was seen, over there. Follow the fence, you can see where they're entering over there into private property. And there might even be a chance for some prints in this gravel, so I'll have a look through there. So really just looking now for what sort of tracks might be in the area. See if an animal's been moving through here. Turns out there's been a number of sightings in this area, especially in the nature reserve that's nearby, across the road from where Linda saw her animal. About a year ago we had another sighting from a woman called Geraldine. Geraldine says several times she has seen an unusual animal while walking at night in the park. This morning, January 11 at approximately 1:45 a.m, I was able to see it more clearly as it stopped and turned to watch us. I walk in the park most mornings with my German Shepherd dog. This morning it ran across the road in front of us about 15 to 20 feet away. Same place we had seen it before and a couple of times in a nearby location. I've never seen an animal this shape and with such a tail. It moved differently to a dog, fast with body lowish to the ground. Not a fox, much bigger, pointy ears and sloping back with long, stiff, non-bushy tail. We see foxes all the time and it moved nothing like one. Very different gait, low back, wrong shape and bigger. It ran into the bush, off the road, stopped and looked back at us. I have a very strong LED headlight, so stopped and shone it on the animal, which just looked back, so I was able to assess its size and shape better. I looked it up this morning to see if I could find it, as I know no Australian mammal that fitted it, and it was the same face and body shape as the Thylacine, but I couldn't really see any stripes as its back was in shadow. My dog is a big female German Shepherd and around 29 inches at the shoulder, and this animal was smaller by maybe 6 inches with a longish body with sloping hindquarters and very long stiff tail. It was dark, but it looked like a mid-beige to brown colour. All of our sightings have been in the last year, so Geraldine has had about 5 sightings. She goes on to say, I'm a retired scientist, qualified in zoology and botany, so very familiar with animals, morphology, etc. Also have a degree in clinical chemistry and one in quantitative biology with a pharmacology major. I can barely even say these words. Mostly done medical research and also worked in the pharmaceutical industry in drug metabolism, so very used to observation. So we've had a number of sightings within a few kilometres here. I mean, I live just down the road and I've had a sighting in my own street. My son and I were out the front yard and I looked down. We live on the high side of the street. I saw the maggies going off at something. Magpies are in the power poles and they are looking down at an animal. So I looked down and there's this tan animal there. At first I thought it might have been the dog from up the road that pops in occasionally. Wasn't that. It was completely tan and we got a really good look at it. It was quite short for how long it was. Completely tan. I think it had a black tip on its tail. Wasn't fox-like. Its head was quite triangular, like its snout sort of led into the rest of its head. And yeah, we still don't know what that was, but I know what it wasn't. It wasn't a dog and it wasn't a fox, and it certainly wasn't a cat. It slinked off into the neighbour's yard after being harassed by the magpies, and you could see the tail was really working, and I could see it had a massive tail. Like, the tail was longer than the rest of the animal, and so we still don't know what that was exactly, but I know for sure it wasn't a dog, it wasn't a cat, and it wasn't a fox, so I don't know what that was. There's also, there's a little bit of cover here. TAGOA Vice President Dave Dickinson came up to help with the search, and together we went out and checked out a few areas. I showed him a few areas I'd already looked at, and obviously these are large areas that we're looking around. One of these tree lines, there's probably 2 or 3 that are potential, good cover for them to travel up.
It's gonna have its little rails, but it'll deviate around a bit.
Yeah. If it cuts across here, there's a nice little corridor of bush here, and then I'm reckoning it would skirt the bottom side of that hill.
Well, there's just lots of places for it to be.
Oh mate,
and hide.
It's just unreal. So mate, there's just tons of options out that way. more we sort of checked places out, the more information come to hand. We were out searching and we got another text from Linda's husband Gary, who said a friend claims to have seen an animal bigger than a fox, smaller than a dog, last night around 5 p.m. He thinks it may have been a feral cat. The colour was orange-brown and he thought it was weird enough to tell me about it. So we went straight there for a look around. So this is where we saw his animal, somewhere down here.
Last night, sighting here.
Around 5 p.m.
Couple of k's from Bingo.
And it's currently 5:15. But we're sitting right there.
Yeah. No, we're right on top of it.
Yeah.
We're right on top of
it's
where the
right
sighting
here,
is.
because he's obviously gotten on this track. Bang. But anyway, the wind is on. So we're hoping to see something. Dave's taking another track. Could be real good for prints at the moment. Like it hasn't rained today.
There's lots of fallen trees with actual almost dens in them.
Yeah.
You could just hide up for the day or right here.
Yeah. There's also been solid sightings of striped animals in the valley next to the valley we're in. Also another sighting down the hill as a animal with a prehistoric looking head came trotting through a cemetery heading back towards the same area.
Yeah, probably should turn the torch off really, shouldn't we? Just until we get a bit closer. You don't actually need it. It's huge, isn't it? Look at that, it just...
It's kind of obsessed.
Oh,
Big stuff.
that was awesome.
That was, I've never seen a shooting star before.
Really? That was a good one too. That was it. I reckon that was it. It was quite high, and it looked at us. And I called it a second time. There was two sets. I called it once, and it went behind the tree. And I caught the eye again, and it was looking at us. And then it's gone. Couldn't even keep the light on it.
Coldest June morning in 75 years. It's a bit nippy. It's a really big patch of bush this and little fairy ring. It's connected to lots of other patches and pushed in every direction. So all we can hope for, apart from trail cams, is cutting across their track, seeing some prints. A few of these little diggings around. Not sure if that's maybe rabbit. Plenty of people through here. So shoe marks. Lots of blackberry in here. It's a pretty good hiding spot. What have we got here? Oh. Dead koala. Poor Bubba. We've spent hours and hours every day out here looking for tracks to get some sort of lead, but so far nothing. So we put some trail cameras out in the local area to see if we can find this Beast of Blackwood, and it's a huge area to search, so I'm really thankful Dave could come and help. We've put some trail cameras out, let's see what we find. Gary and Linda have been great, they've been searching the area as well, but while Gary was out there with his son on his bike, he came across a fresh scat in the same vicinity of the sighting. So he didn't sample it, but he took a photo. Here it is, and it looks a lot like the one Neil found in Tasmania. Olive colour, definitely carnivore. So I came back about a week later to try and find it. Okay, here we go. This could be it. Looks a bit different to what it did in the photo, but that was a few weeks ago. I reckon that's it. Here we go. It's the right sort of colour. It's carnivore. We'll take it home, maybe have a closer look, talk to Neil, and put it straight in the freezer. Can't find there's a little plug on the end of it in the photo. Can't find that now. Fingers crossed. Pretty weird to think there might be the scat of an extinct animal in my pocket, but you don't know if you don't try, and it does fit the bill, so we'll see. We want to get this scat in for DNA testing. It was found recently, so it's still that kind of olive colour. It still does have that little knob there, Neil. Look at that, and look, there's all hair. Lots of hair in there. Alright, we'll let the experts do that. We'll take it into town and get it DNA tested.